Hey, hey, hey. Happy Memorial Day. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So tonight is Memorial Day 2022. That's right, it is May 30th, and this is live stream 792. Closing in on 800. What can I tell you? Anyway, welcome aboard. If this is your first time joining me, keep in mind, super casual. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and taking a look at a game. So tonight, we are actually going to be taking a peek at the MÖRK BORG CULT Heretic. This is a zine-sized release, as well as the Game Master screen as well. I believe there are some reference sheets that are included with this also. So we're going to be diving in and taking a peek at these in just a bit. So I do want to mention, if this is your first time hanging out, we always tackle the tabletop gaming news first, and then we jump on into a first look. So, be about 30 minutes or so before we get into the MÖRK BORG CULT Heretic. So, if you're watching live, kick back, put your feet up, relax. If you're watching 30 minutes or more after this stream ends, you can actually jump ahead. There are timestamps, and those timestamps could possibly even be located right in the timeline of the video, depending on what device you're watching on. Otherwise, they are in the show notes. So to jump ahead, you have to access the show notes if it's not in the timeline. Should also mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of, where did I put it? Oh, it's buried under something. Death in Space from Free League Publishing. So yes, that is on the horizon. I didn't actually get any videos done in my time off last week because that damn sinus infection was just wiping me out. It got worse. Finally, this morning, it seemed like it's gone. So fingers crossed on that one. Anyway, so also should mention, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. Such as a recent review of Weird Frontiers by our newest reviewer, Samantha Lightheart. So check that out if you have not already. And of course, if you're watching live, chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, first out the gate was Coco B with MÖRK BORG, or as some people do pronounce it, MÖRK BORG, which I guess Free League Publishing and everybody else affiliated with the game are like, yeah, that's fine. Don't care how you pronounce it. We care if you're playing it. Viper Dave is with us. Flaming Huron has joined us as well. Flaming Huron's one of our chat moderators. Kevin R. Smith is also joining us on this holiday evening. So very cool. Welcome aboard, everybody. Strangely enough, on Wednesday, I forgot that this was a holiday today, because usually I would take holidays off. Yeah. It was like, I think it was like Thursday evening, and I was like, oh, that's right. Monday is Memorial Day. It's okay. I had already promised we were going to take a look at Heretic, and so we shall. All right, let's jump on into the news, because arriving in July from Hachette Games is Acropolis. Here's what I know. Construct the most prestigious Acropolis and develop cohesive districts for your citizens. As you create new buildings, you will expand your city, either spreading out or building up. The higher your stack of tiles, the more valuable the buildings. Just make sure you don't run out of stone. It's a finite and valuable resource for every architect. The most talented architects in ancient Greece stand ready to achieve this goal. Build housing, temples, markets, gardens, and barracks so you can grow your city and ensure it triumphs over the others. Raise its prestige with harmonious planning that conforms to specific rules, and enhance it by building plazas. Stone is an essential resource, so make sure you do not neglect it. You'll need enough quarries so you can build higher up, making your city stretch toward the sky. You choose a tile from the construction site, arrange it in your city to unlock each district's full potential. You can build on higher levels and increase the value of your districts in order to win the game. Acropolis is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays around 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives in stores on July 1st. Now, nice to see Hachette Games finally actually has a web address that is not, I think it was hachette.com/boardgames. And if you went to it, it just showed stuff that's like years and years ago. So we do know that Hachette has actually really kind of ramped up their releases. They're connected with, in fact, I think almost all of their releases so far have been Gigamic, which is a French board game company, and I believe this is as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Not a bad price, $40. City builder, tile laying game. I always dig laying tiles. Mr. Eddie T is saying howdy. Sweet. And of course, that means Sarah D is no doubt hanging out watching as well. Let's move on to our next news piece, because now shipping from Tiny Battle Publishing is Scream, Aim, Fire Pacific. Here's the skinny. Scream, Aim, Fire Pacific is a solo tactical game of squad-level combat set in the Pacific theater of World War II. The player takes the part of American infantry and armor, pushing inland and taking objectives using a dice-rolling action system that gives you a guaranteed number of actions per round, but not always of the exact type you need. A card-driven action system manages the Japanese defenders, including veteran units, machine gun nests, pillboxes, even tanks. Victory is based on objectives and American morale score, and game complications include lack of supplies and surprise Japanese reinforcements. So even on the edge of victory, it pays to be cautious. But with the time limit on every scenario, not too cautious. With 5 scenarios of increasing difficulty and complexity, Scream, Aim, Fire Pacific is a challenge you'll have to rise up to, and a challenger that is always ready for you. The war game is shipping now. It's for a single player, ages 14 and up. I don't have a playtime. Could be, I'm taking a guess 1 to 2 hours, because it's a Tiny Battle publishing title. So it's not, some huge boxed release from, say, Flying Pig Games. So I'm going to say probably 1 or 2 hours on the playtime. It does carry an MSRP of $36. There you go, sharing a little love for Tiny Battle and my pal Mark H. Walker. Although I got to admit, it's been a while since I've seen anything from either Tiny Battle or Flying Pig Games. I don't know. Kathy Evans is with us in chat. Sarah D's saying howdy to everybody as well. Jesus Nava is also popping on in to hang with the gang. So welcome aboard, everybody. Hope you who are in the U.S. have taken a moment to kind of, give thanks for the folks who sacrificed it all, who made the ultimate sacrifice, protecting the United States of America, defending our country. So that is what Memorial Day is all about. It's not remembering grandma like some people. And of course, if you're outside the U.S., hey, happy Monday. A huge bundle of holdings arrived featuring dozens of Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Crawl Classic modules from Goodman Games. Here's the deets on the deal. Adventurer! This 50 dungeon mega bundle gathers more than 4 dozen tabletop fantasy role-playing modules in the original D20 system Dungeon Crawl Classics line from Goodman Games. From 2003 to 2007, Dungeon Crawl Classics captured the old-school revival spirit in dozens of scenarios published for D&D 3E and 3.5 and its successors under the Open Game license. In 2012, Goodman published a freestanding Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game, which now, of course, has a separate product line, which is not part of this one. This new mega bundle presents a ton of PDF ebooks of DCC modules from the entire D20 system line, arranged to ramp smoothly from 1st to 21st level. They all work great with D&D 3.0, 3.5, Pathfinder, and their descendants. Written by popular designers like Monty Cook and Robert J. Schwalb. What? No Michael Curtis, no Harley Stroh mentions. They worked on this line. They don't just do the new Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff or the better remembered Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff. These adventures are 100% dungeon crawls with bloody combat, intriguing mazes, and no NPCs who aren't meant to be killed. I don't know if that's the case with every single one. The monsters you fear, the traps you dread, and the secret doors you know must be there somewhere. They're all here, all of them. Plus the Castle White Rock campaign, the Gazetteer of the Known Realms setting books, which interestingly enough, that is actually the setting for Dungeon Crawl Classics, the role-playing game. That's kind of interesting, right? So if you want all the setting information, you actually pick up the old PDFs. It's pretty wild. So you're going to get a spectacular bargain price because for only $19.95, you'll get all 29 titles in the low-level collection with a retail value of $207 as DRM-free PDFs, including, well, the 2 20-adventure compilations, The Adventure Begins and The Adventure Continues, plus 10 modules for first-level player characters, 13 adventures for levels 3 to 6, and 4 play aids, dungeon geomorphs, interludes, the dungeon master screen, and treasure maps. These alone can occupy the busiest group of players for years. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $43.54, that's the current price. It'll probably be different when you actually go take a look. Anyway, you'll level up. You'll get the entire high-level collection with 29 more titles worth an additional $281, including the 6-module Saga of the Dragon Cult, 8 adventures for levels 7 and 9, 11 high-level epics for levels 10 through 21, the Gazetteer of the Known Realm setting, and the complete 700-page Castle White Rock campaign supplement. These savings will run through June 13th. 10% of your payment after payment gateway fees will be donated to the charity designated by publisher Joseph Goodman, the San Francisco Marin Food Bank. Nice. So, something I have to chuckle about is when this bundle first launched, it is called the 50 Dungeon Mega Bundle. And they had 48. I was like, wait, what? Huh? It's like, okay, so, all right, okay. It's like, the numbers you're given aren't adding up to 50. So they did make a few little changes, I believe, to this bundle so that there are more than 50 dungeons. So, strangely enough, I don't know why they're calling it the 50 Dungeon Mega Bundle. It's not 50. It's more than 50 now. But, wow, you are looking at tons of content. Now, I do understand, from what I have heard, that some of these earlier Dungeon Crawl classics, which were for D&D, or I guess we'll say D20, weren't all that good. So, I'm not saying they're all like that, but their adventures for Dungeon Crawl classics are far more popular now than they were back in the day. Although, gotta admit, these adventures are what put Goodman Games on the map. So Kevin mentions that Dungeon Crawl Classics, the role-playing game, came from WotC botching the licensing for 4E. Really? I knew Pathfinder, I knew that background. I always thought Dungeon Crawl Classics was that they just wanted to do kind of an old-school vibed role-playing game and toss in a bunch of crazy gonzo stuff. So, I don't know. Hey, speaking of Pathfinder, arriving in July is a paranormal-themed source book. Here's the latest on The Dark Archive from Paizo Inc. From the fringes, the unknown beckons. Pathfinder Dark Archive contains secrets that any player or GM can use to reveal the paranormal lurking in their Pathfinder games. This spine-tinglingly secretive 224-page hardcover rulebook presents 2 new character classes perfect for delving into the unexplained. Unleash the untold power of your mind as the psychic, or leverage supernatural secrets and mystic implements as the thaumaturge. Beyond these 2 new classes, 8 secret case files each provide player options, GM tools, and lore into a different paranormic topic. Never heard that word before, paranormic. It's always paranormal. Strange cryptids glimpsed in the night, gear to track them, and the powers you might gain by surviving an encounter with one. Cults and esoteric belief with apocryphal divine magic and the secret of becoming a living vessel for an eldritch being. Temporal anomalies. I need a sip here. Come on, Jeff. It's English, man. Read it. It's just English. Let's take that from the top. Temporal anomalies with archetypes that skim along the surface of time and a new mystery for oracles unbound from casualty. Each file concludes with a short adventure to immerse players in the paranormal, spanning across Galarian. Play all 8 to uncover the inexplicable phenomena of the Age of Lost Omens. Once again, the 224-page hardcover is arriving on July 27th. It's going to carry an MSRP of $54.99. There is a special edition you can pick up for $74.99, or you'll be able to grab the PDF for $14.99. So this is one of the core books that Paizo is offering a deep discount for the PDF. Very cool to see. Definitely always like to see that. Very nice. So I'm kind of curious because it seems as if the second edition of Pathfinder is kind of going along the same lines as original Pathfinder and some of the titles that, like kind of source books that they release. Because if I remember correctly, and once again, got to remember, I am not that well versed with first edition Pathfinder. I thought they did an occult book, which was kind of similar to this, but it wasn't a horror book. So it wasn't like horror adventures. It was occult adventures. And then later on, they released a horror supplement. So I wonder if that's on the somewhat horizon as well. So there was PaizoCon over the weekend. So there were quite a few different announcements. And of course, the big Starfinder event is Drift Crisis, which we took a peek at that supplement last week. So stay tuned. I'll have a review of that in the near horizon as well. All right, final news piece. Now available in print and PDF for Weird Frontiers, which I was talking about earlier in the show as Samantha Lightheart's first review for the Gaming Gang. Well, there's a new adventure out from Stiff Whiskers Press, and it is Never Swallowed the Worm. Here's the scoop. The posse begins the adventure riding hard on a dusty trail with the aim of putting down a gang of roughnecks dead set on conjuring up some elder deviltry. But best laid plans often go off the rails, and the real deviltry is taking a ride toward the town of Adobes with a thirst for hooch. No doubt tequila, right? Because it got that worm that you're never supposed to swallow in this. And a curse that just might spell the beginning of the end. The 48-page Weird Frontiers Never Swallow the Worm is available as a black and white softcover, which includes a PDF, over at DriveThruRPG for the special sale price of $14.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $9.99. So we are talking a little bit about Dungeon Crawl Classics, the role-playing game, not the adventure line from back in the day. And this is actually built on top of the DCC engine. So, yes, the core book is all of like 900 pages. So, sweet. All right, that is it for the news tonight. For some reason, my voice is kind of scratchy. tonight. I don't, must be from that sinus infection that just hung around forever. Yes. Anyway, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Please keep in mind that the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit DriveThruRPG, be sure to swing by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, if you like what we do, you can always buy me a cup of coffee or some soda by swinging on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. So thankfully, got quite a few people out there who use those drive-through links and swing over by paypal.me from time to time. And it is much appreciated. It really, really is. So, I'm going to be taking a look at MÖRK BORG CULT, Heretic in a few moments. First, I do want to mention I was running a kind of almost like a flash contest over on Twitter over the weekend because I have PDF copies of the second edition of the One Ring starter set, core book, Game Master screen, which also includes the Rivendell guide. And I was giving it away to a lucky follower on Twitter and said I would announce the winner on tonight's show. And Stuka Smith is our winner. Andrew Smith. All you had to do was be a follower of the Gaming Gang over on Twitter, retweet, and like the post. That was it. Or like the tweet, I should say, not post. And you were in the running. And Andrew is the winner. So what I have done is I have followed Andrew because now he can send me a message to tell me his email address so I can get those digital files to him. So congrats. Helga Ratbone is with us in chat. Welcome, welcome. Kind of a a bigger group in chat than I was expecting. I was actually kind of thinking, well, I mean, I know we have viewers who are outside the U.S., so they're not celebrating Memorial Day. They're celebrating Work Day Monday. So, yeah, a little surprise. We got as many people in chat as we do. Very, very cool. So as I had mentioned in the open of the show, I had that stamped sinus infection got worse. And it was giving me like a sinus headache, which are terrible. Oh my gosh. I got to be honest. I had a sinus infection one time and I flew, which you are not supposed to fly with a sinus infection, but it was work related. I had to go. There was no way to get out of it. And this is when I lived in Arizona, and it was winter, which of course in Arizona, it's like, 60 during the day. And I was going to Boston, and it was right after New Year's, a few years back. And it was just god awful. It was like, oh my gosh. I thought my head was going to explode on that flight. And it was like, it just made it all so much worse. So much worse. But hey, it was a work event, so, just lubricated myself well enough that I was able to, muster on. All right. That was back when I worked for GoDaddy. So, yes, because GoDaddy was headquartered out of Boston, and they used to fly everybody in. So pretty wild. All righty. So we are going to dive on into MÖRK BORG CULT, Heretic in just a moment. But first, it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
It's time to stretch and fetch. See what's cooking at our refreshment counter. You'll find your favorite foods and beverages, plus many new goodies to tempt your appetite and add to your evening's pleasure. Everything's the finest quality. So treat yourself now.
Hey, man, what makes you so square?
I don't dig Wilkins coffee.
You should. It really swings.
Like, man, how'd you like to have a nice cup of Wilkins coffee, Daddy-o? It's the only time I ever saw Wonkins with a square head. Hey, man, why are you such a square? Sweet. So, Mr. Eddie T mentions in chat that he's glad that I didn't take a vacation today because it gives them something to do. I know, I didn't do anything. I did nothing for this holiday weekend. Once again, I felt awful for a good chunk of it. But even today, when I felt pretty good, there's a little bit sinus going on. But yes. So Kevin mentions that they didn't realize that Sprite went that far back. I think Sprite is from the 60s. Thereabouts. I think early 60s. So, don't know. Oh, Mr. Eddie T points out that he and Sarah have COVID. Damn. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Hopefully it's not real serious. So there you go. Kick back, relax, quarantine, enjoy the stream. Because I am going to be taking a first look at MÖRK BORG CULT, Heretic, as well as the Game Master screen, which is from Stockholm Kartell, Free League Publishing, and Ockult Örtmästare Games. The zine is written by Pelle Nielsen, Johnny Carhat, Carl Druid, Ian McClung, Johan Neuer, Christian Salin, Matthew Bottiglieri, and Greg Saunders. Yeah, I butchered all those names. Most of those names got butchered. Sorry about that. Artwork is provided by Johan Neuer. The 68-page zine is arriving in softcover in June. I do not have an exact release date. I'm kind of surprised. I know it's a June release. And it's going to carry an MSRP of $24.99. You can grab the PDF right now over at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. The GM screen we're going to take a look at also arrives in June, and it carries an MSRP of $24.99. You can grab it in PDF right now as well at DriveThruRPG, and it's only $4.99. So nice. Very nice. Sarah D said they thought it was a sinus infection until they found out that they'd been exposed to COVID. They tested and isolated right away. Aha. So, and Sarah says she's a zombie. And Mr. Eddie T's feeling good because she's been sleeping half the day, leaving him alone. There you go. There you have it. So tell us more. Now, let's explore that a little further. I don't think I had COVID. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was. Next time, I have tests too. So next time it comes popping around, if it comes popping around, I will actually use a test because I thought, I'm not going to waste a test on that. It's a sinus infection. And I had a nurse tell me, because I went and saw my cardiologist, she told me everybody is down with sinus infections as well. So that's why I was like, it's not COVID. All right. Anyway, so let's take a look at Heretic. Got it right here. In fact, you know what? Let's get the shrink off of it. I think you can also pick this up from Exalted Funeral. I am not positive, but I could have swore. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So it looks like we've got a fold-out dungeon. Okay. Melwinius from York is with us. Good to see you, Mel. Thanks for swinging on in on a Memorial Day stream. All right, so a few things that I'm going to point out. First of all, the fine folks over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me this review copy as well as the Game Master screen. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And I say it all the time. You may not believe it. These days, it's important that you know that. I'm also going to stay picture-in-picture up here. So as we page through, I'm going to be cutting off a little bit of the left portion of the book. We're not going to look at each and every page. But I do want to give you a good feel for what is in this zine, because I believe this zine is actually focused on cults. I think it's focused on cults in MÖRK BORG. So, allow me to address the elephant in the room, in my opinion, when it comes to MÖRK BORG. Just like, I try to say it weirder and weirder every time. Like I'm a little like an alien voice. MÖRK BORG. So Zero Theory is jumping on in saying always 100 on art and style. See, that was what I was going to mention. Not necessarily with the releases that have come from Stockholm Kartell and Free League Publishing and Ockult Örtmästare Games, but the third-party stuff. A lot of the third-party stuff for this role-playing game is far more focused on just a visual presentation as opposed to actually giving you gameable material. So it has nothing to do with the creators of MÖRK BORG, but the game is getting a reputation. It's getting a reputation it doesn't deserve. So, and we've mentioned that before, that there's just a lot of dreck out there. But then again, there's a lot of dreck for 5e and, you know, third party stuff for everything. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. All right, so let's jump on in here. I am not going to attempt to read the back here. My inner light is evil spark, illuminating all in dark. So it's a poem. Okay, so if you are familiar with this role-playing game, I know people get tired of me saying the name of it. There are loads and loads of random tables. It is some of the inspiration for just playing on the fly. Just playing on the fly here. So we've got creating, it's basically looks like it's creating the cult. Kind of interesting how that folded out. So here's our table of contents. Unheroic feats. Roll a D66 or gain a feat as a narrative achievement. That's kind of wild. Likeable. There's something about your smile, the way you comport yourself, how you speak. You're best described as approachable. It's weird. There's a rat. Shedding Vicar. What is this? Oh, it's a class. This is an extremely rules-light game. I've pointed that out before. There is, when we talk about crunch, this is not a crunchy role-playing game. Not at all. Map of the Graveyard, not to scale. So do we have, there we go. I was going to say, there's got to be a little adventure skeleton here of the various different areas. Now there's quite a few of them. All right, there we go. Bloat. Have another kind of adventure. That's another thing about MÖRK BORG is that the adventures are few pages, handful of pages. Here and says, say the name again. MÖRK BORG. You are cursed. What now? Okay. So all of this in here is, I believe, I might be wrong, but these were all created by third parties. So these were all part of the cult, which is kind of the like third party create your own content aspect of MÖRK BORG. So the Sepulchre of the Swamp Witch. Oh, okay, another scenario. There we go. I gotta say, there's quite a lot of content in here. And I'm glad to see we've got some, short adventures. Because I was kind of curious, was this just going to be a bunch of tables for... So Zero Theory says, MÖRK BORG. Or hey, you could call it MÖRK BORG. It's A-OK with the creators and Free League Publishing. All right, so then we have Wishes. Rotten Nurse. Is this another class? I think it might be. All right, so there you have Heretic. Then we had this fold-out poster. Hey, Testy Trekkies joined us. Welcome aboard. So this is the... Can't even tell what the hell this is supposed to be. The Herod Gauntlet of Kegel Shecht. An obituary dungeon. There you go. See, this is one of those things that it's, to me, it's like, okay, so this is what we're kind of talking about, where some of these releases are more concerned with the visuals than actually creating, usable material. That's kind of cool. I like the system for MÖRK BORG. I'll be very honest, I'm not super keen on the setting. I'm just not a grim dark kind of guy. So, the more like I could do Grim and Perilous for more Hammer Fantasy Roleplay, but some of the like really over the top, I should say, dark role playing games, which this really isn't super insane. But yeah, some of those little darker than I appreciate. All right, so here's the Game Master screen. And I think this is like 5 panels. That was like a piece of trash laying there. Okay, so we've got here we go. I was going to say there's supposed to be some references or like 4 tables. And here we have it. Traps, somewhere to drink, 40 city events, and the tables of ochre, obscurity. Okay. So here, tell you what, this is a very nice, thick screen here. Try to give you a bit of a look here. It is very nice. So let's see what we've got. So we've got some of the random tables for the NPCs. We've got equipment, weapons. So these are all the prices. And then we also have the damage for each of these weapons. Difficulty ratings, reaction morale, resting, violence. Show no mercy. Unclean powers, sacred powers. And then we've got items and trinkets. And if you notice, you see right up along here on the bottom and up here, these are for you to be able to slide these tables in. I guess it would probably have been easier if I'd gone down to the bottom. Nope, maybe not. There we go. That's cool. I like how they've done that. Most companies would have just been like, oh, okay, well, we'll just put them in there. Just throw them in. So now let's take a look at the back. So now this artwork's pretty cool. This artwork's very cool. Be freaking everybody out at the table. Nice. So we've got 5 panels. Cool. All right. Guess that's how we'll fold it up, like so. Once again, this Game Master screen is arriving in June, and it will carry an MSRP of $24.99. If you want the PDF, you can go to DriveThruRPG. It's $4.99. Heretic is also $24.99, and you can get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. So there you go. Dan Kellogg has joined us. Good to see you. Says, hey, that's a nice DM screen. I'm going to have to pick one up. So, Zero Theory says it's be able to be intimidating at the table. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's very nice. This actually, and this also looks like this will hold up to a lot of use. Not something that I can say about every Game Master screen that we see. Tessie Trekkie says, Cyborg is with backers and awesome, the PDF. All right, so that is Heretic. Nice. Cool. I'll try to have a review of this in the relatively near future. I would love to get some more role-playing game reviewers. I have 3 right now. I honestly could use 3 more. I'm not joking. I am not kidding. Because I have loads of people, loads of publishers out there asking me to review PDFs. I can't do it. You know, I personally don't review the PDFs anymore because I only do video reviews. But like I said, I could really use like 3 more role-play game reviewers, bring it up to like 6. All right. So there, once again, was MÖRK BORG CULT, Heretic from Free League Publishing, Stockholm Kartell, and what is it? It is Ockult Örtmästare Games. Örtmästare Games. Sweet. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at our last board game for a bit, and it is going to be Wonder Book from Da Vinci Games. And I know this was something at Gen Con last year. A lot of people were very impressed by the visual appeal of this. I don't know much about the game. So we are going to dive on in tomorrow and take a look. So the reason why I mentioned it's going to be the last board game we're going to look at for a while is because all throughout the month of June, it is Fantasy Role-Playing Game Celebration here on the Gaming Gang Dispatch. So every show, we are going to be diving into a fantasy role-playing game release. We'll actually even have some reviews as well. So funny enough, the reason why I decided I was going to do that for June is because the 3rd edition of Hyperborea was supposed to be here. It was supposed to be shipping in May. So I thought, oh, cool. That's like a week. That's 3 shows we could devote to the new edition of Hyperborea. They're delayed again. Now they're saying people probably won't be getting it until August. I'm like, oh, great. I already said that it's Fantasy Role-Playing Game Month. I've got plenty of stuff. We'll be fine. But on Wednesday's show, we're going to kick off the celebration with the index card role-playing game, the Master Edition, which is available from Modiphius Entertainment. I know this is Runehammer Games, and this hardcover is available through Modiphius Entertainment, and we're going to dive in. And yes, I know there are science fiction settings and modern settings, but there's also a fantasy setting, so it counts. In fact, I think the fantasy setting is like the main setting for index card role-playing. So we are going to dive in. I'm excited to take a peek at this because I've heard a lot of really good stuff about this. So we're going to get to take a peek. All right, that is it for tonight's show. Pretty quick show. Not even an hour tonight. Oh, I'm sure tomorrow's show will probably run long like always, right? Anyway, do want to mention, if you were watching live, you should definitely be giving a thumb up to the video, especially if you hang out all the time and watch the stream. So, just pointing that out. So, of course, if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when The Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. But also keep in mind, it'll point out when I upload other standalone videos, such as my upcoming first look at Country Road Z, the skirmish miniatures zombie game. So we will be looking at that soon enough. Quantum Phase Dragon popped on in at the end. Good to see you catch the end of the show. Coco B says they're in a West Marshes kind of thing using index card RPG. Lots of fun. I heard from the PR rep from Modifius Entertainment that I think he said he's running a campaign with index card RPG. So pretty wild. So we'll get to take a peek at it. All right. Anyway, those of you who watched live, thank you very much. Especially on Memorial Day. I know a lot of people out there, if they don't have COVID, like a couple of people I know, could have been doing a whole lot of other things on this holiday Monday night. And of course, I'm just teasing the two people who have COVID. I hope they're doing okay. Sounds like they're all right. Anyway, if you took part in chat, thank you kindly. I always appreciate it. Otherwise, I just feel like a complete dork just speaking into a camera to nobody. So, but I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. It really does mean a lot to me. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night. I will be back tomorrow. Once again, we're going to be looking at Wonder Book. And of course, here's hoping each and every one of you always gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.